And joining us now to discuss these fresh racism allegations and accusations against the president, liberal commentator Roosevelt Mitchell and GOP strategist Sylvester Smith. We thank you both so much for being here. All right, listen.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you again very quickly. So let's go back just to what Councilman Pinkett was just saying here. Do you think that these tweets are bringing the nation together but against the president? How much of an issue do you think that this is going to be in the race for the White House now? I'll start with you. Let's start with you, Roosevelt.
Oh, well, I think he does this strategically, honestly, in order to fan the racial flames, to bring the Democratic Party together in defense of each other, but at the expense of being productive as far as, getting together for policies or spreading their message for the next candidate for the general election next year, right? So as long as he, keeps them talking about, is he racist, is he not racist, or coming together in defense of each other, it still takes time away from building and getting, voters excited about trying to vote him out of office.
All right, Sylvester, let's let you weigh in here. Does this work against the president? How much does this hurt him, if at all?
I don't believe this hurts the president. There are certain people that are part of his core voter base who are going to support the president no matter what, primarily because they are not necessarily focusing on what he's saying, but they're looking at what he's achieved. He passed one of the largest tax cuts in our nation's history. Unemployment is at a record low. I'd like to also recognize that unemployment for African Americans hit the lowest point in recent history in my lifetime during this man's presidency. So when it comes to achieving the things that the president set out to do when he was elected, he's succeeding. Now, in regards to growing his base, expanding the grand old party, I do believe that these tweets pose a challenge, but I don't expect that challenge to arise to the level in which it'll threaten his reelection.
All right, so do you think that the tweets were racist? Do you think the president is racist, as some have suggested over the past couple of days? Let's stay with you, Sylvester.
No, the president is not a racist. First of all, I am from the deep South. I grew up and went to restaurants where you couldn't use the restroom if you were a person of color. I've been called the N-word to my face. I know what racism is. President Trump, in the past week, has vouched his own personal wealth to try to get a gentleman named A$AP Rocky out of a Swedish prison. For those who don't know, A$AP Rocky is an African-American hip-hop artist. No self-respecting racist would even know who the heck A$AP Rocky was, much less take a step to free him. Additionally, over the years that I've known President Trump as a public figure, I've seen him hanging out with many persons of color. I mean, he just said today that he used to attend boxing matches with Reverend Al Sharpton. What self-respecting racist would go anywhere with Reverend Al Sharpton? And so, no, the proof is in this man's history. He is not a racist. He's worked to improve the lives of African Americans as a private businessman and as president.
Roosevelt, your response?
Well, I mean, that's the interesting part, though. The only, A$AP Rocky had already been in jail for 2 weeks in Sweden, but until after President Trump sent out the other tweets to the squad, then the next day, then he talks about freeing A$AP Rocky. Just like this weekend, he sent out the tweets against Elijah Cummings and Al Sharpton. And what did he do today? He met with 20 pastors behind closed doors about the black problems in America, which is interesting because he brags so much about how well the economy is doing under his leadership. He brags so much about how African Americans' unemployment rates are low, but yet he calls out what's going on in Baltimore like he has no power to do anything about it. So again, just look at his track record. I don't know him personally, but just look at his track record and how he goes against people of color in the Congress.
Sylvester, back to you very quickly. Is this whole thing, are these tweet storms, are these just a way to divert attention from all of the focus on impeachment?
No, I don't believe it is. I believe President Trump is, in his history, he's a very successful man. He's someone that's achieved a lot. And frankly, he's not accustomed to being attacked personally. And he's the type of fellow that when you attack him personally, he attacks you back. He doesn't screen his Twitter. He just speaks his mind. And frankly, as a conservative, I do wish that he focused more on doing the job and less on tweeting. But hey, he's earned the right to speak his mind and defend himself.
Sylvester Smith, Roosevelt Mitchell, we thank you both so much for your time.